Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in the previous chapters we looked at constant variables and arguments. So in this chapter I'll be looking at control flows, and the control flow that we will be starting with will be the if else activity. But before we jump in on a high level, how you can relate with control flows is if you know traffic lights. So traffic lights control the flow of vehicles on the road. So literally this is the same thing with control flows within UiPath. So they control the flow of your work flows. So you're able to make decisions within your workflows, and you're able to do things more than once. Like that's called looping. We'll be looking at that in the coming chapters. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and start. So I'll drag my assign activity. So I'll create a variable, I'll name it temperature. It says the name already exists, so I'll come in my control panel. I'll delete all these. I'll Control K, create temperature. So once I have my temperature is a double, because you can have decimal temperatures. So my temperature will be in the Celsius scale. So my temperature will be 37.7. So the check that we're supposed to do is I'll change this following best practice, my body temperature. So the check that we're supposed to do is to find out whether the body temperature is normal or not. So I'll open my Google here. So I'll ask what is this one. Ask what is the normal human body temperature. So Google is telling me it is 37 degrees Celsius. So I'll come in here, I'll get my if activity. This is the activity. I'll drag it, put it here. So my check is to check if the temperature is greater than the normal temperature is 37. So I'll copy this, paste it here. So I'm checking if a temperature is greater than 37, then message box. If it is greater than 37, that means the temperature is not normal. So I can tell them your temperature isn't normal. Save. I'll copy the activity using Ctrl+C on my keyboard. Then I'll paste it within the else, and then I'll change this to your temperature from isn't to is normal. So my body temperature is 37. So I'll also change the name here to something more descriptive. Check if my body temperature is normal. So that's the name of my activity. So the expectation is my body temperature is 37. So the condition is asking if temperature is 37. If this is true, because this we already recall in the previous chapter told you that we'd be getting to see how booleans come in. The boolean data type is really handy when working with control flows. So firstly, this check that we're doing, it either returns a true or false. If it is true, then the then is executed. If it is false, then the else is executed. For this program, the expectation is, says my temperature is 37.7. Your temperature isn't normal, is what we expect to be printed out in the message box. So I'll go ahead and run. So it is telling me your temperature isn't what? Isn't normal. So you see that's how the if works. Itself has to make decisions, and given the decisions that we make, then we're able to execute the corresponding activities. The other thing that we can look at logic operators. Since my project, as you can see here, it's the project uses VB.NET language. So the logic operators that you'll be working with are the ones for VB.NET. So if I come in here and let's say logic operators in VB.NET. Okay, cool. Let me open the first website. So let me just go back a bit. So you see that in our logic operators, compare Boolean expressions and return a Boolean result. So we have the and, or, and also, or else, XOR. These are some of the and operators in what? In VB.NET. So these are some of the common ones that you'll be coming across. You see this one that I've highlighted, the and also, and or else, and you'll find out why. So, for example, I'll drag my another sign activity. Let me see. So I'll name this Ctrl K. I'll call it age. Age is an integer. I'll come in my variables panel. I'll change it to integer. Once I'm done with that, let me say age. I'll say 27, and I'll name this to my age. So I'm doing a check if, and I'm using another operator. So I'm also saying and age is greater than 18, right? So I'm doing two checks. So how the AND works, if I open my notepad to show you how the AND works, if I have two options, let me say I have option A, which is a true Boolean value. I have option B, which is a true Boolean value. So for my AND logic operator to return a true, both my items, whichever items that I'm checking, have to be true. For it to return false, any of them, as long as it's false, it will return a what? It will return a false. So I told you there is a difference. I told you that most of the logic operators that you come across will. I told you that most of the logic operators that you come across, the resources that you come across on the forum and also in the academy or any other resource that's about UiPath, you find that they're using AndAlso, or why reason being the AndAlso has what we call a short circuit. So a short circuit. So for the normal AND, let me say I'm checking if A is false, it won't for the AND that we're using. If A is false, it will continue and also check for the B, right? Which is just a wastage of time, because for the AND, as long as any of the check gives you a false value, it will be a false. You don't it will be a false. You don't need to do another check. So that's where the AND also comes in. So the AND also will give you we always give you we as long as it gets, so for this scenario, if, as soon as it sees the false, it doesn't do the corresponding check. It stops right away, hence making it fast, hence making it the best solution. Hence you'll be seeing it everywhere. So if I'm doing a check here, so the expectation for temperature is greater than 37, my temperature 37.7, so this is true, and age is greater than 18. So for my age here, I have 27, so it's greater than 18. So the expectation is it should print out this one, because this is a true. So if I run, I use the shortcut on my keyboard, F5. So you see that it is giving me is a normal. So if I change this to less than, right, this makes it false because my age is greater than, so meaning I'm expecting to print out this. So if I run, I've run, so I'm getting your temperature is normal. So we also have a OR operator, right? So for it, the OR, as long as one of the results is a true, it will always return to. Both of them don't have to necessarily be true. So for this case, it will print out the first one. Even though the second check is false, it will print out the first one because the first check is true. So if I run, you're able to see that have your temperature is in normal. So that's it for the logic operators and the short circuit. Then the other thing that maybe you can look into, and if you want to do more complex, because the logic operators help us to do more complex decisions, right, within a program. So you can also chain operators. Chaining operators, like I can have an AND, I can an AND and OR all together to make more complex decisions, right? For example, okay, that's one thing I could advise you to look into in your free time. But in case you fail, let me know whether I should also make a video on that. Then we are, but in the next chapters, we'll be looking at the more control flows activities within the UiPath. We'll be looking at the do whiles, the loop that's within the looping. Then we can do in the event that, because here for the if else, we see that we're only considering two actions after. So in the event where we have multiple actions that are more than two actions, right? If, let me say, I have, if it is this, do that, if it is this, do that, and so on and so forth. So there we'll see how things like if else switches come in handy. Yeah, so see you in the next video. And if you do find this video useful, kindly subscribe, kindly share, kindly like. I'm out.